The metallic hum of the spacecraft's engines softened as the landing gear made contact with the spongy, moss-covered surface of Illyria. Inside the cockpit, Captain Lisa Tran sat frozen in awe, her gaze locked on the planet's breathtaking landscape. Towering crystalline trees reached skyward like emerald spires, their translucent leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Streams of liquid light wove between the terrain like luminous veins, and creatures with delicate wings flitted through the air, leaving trails of glittering dust in their wake. Lisa's pulse quickened as the ship's systems confirmed the atmosphere was breathable. She took a deep breath, steadying herself. This is it, she thought. After years of training, diplomacy briefings, and psychological evaluations, she was about to set foot on an alien world. "Captain, we've got movement," said Lieutenant Omar Reyes, her second in command, his voice tight with anticipation. On the external monitors, a group of Illyrians approached from the tree line. They moved with an elegant grace, their lithe forms blending seamlessly with the vibrant surroundings. Their skin shimmered like polished opal, reflecting every color of the Illyrian sky. They wore garments that seemed to grow out of the planet itself, woven from delicate fibers that glowed faintly in the dim light. Lisa stood, adjusting the fit of her Earth-issued exploration suit. She glanced at her team: Reyes, the ever-practical engineer, Dr. Clara Voss, the mission's xenobiologist, and Julian Park, their communications specialist. Their expressions mirrored her own mix of excitement and apprehension. "Remember," Lisa said, her voice firm, "we're here to observe, learn, and, most importantly, establish trust. First contact is delicate, every gesture matters." As the hatch hissed open, a rush of fresh air swept into the cabin, carrying a scent unlike anything Lisa had ever encountered. It was floral yet sharp, a mixture of sweetness and something electric, like the scent of ozone after a storm. The Illyrians stood a few meters away, their eyes gleaming with curiosity and an intensity that Lisa found both mesmerizing and unnerving. At their center was a tall figure who radiated authority. Her posture was regal, and her gaze, as piercing as it was enigmatic, locked onto Lisa the moment she stepped onto the mossy ground. Lisa approached slowly, her hands visible and open as a gesture of peace. "I'm Captain Lisa Tran, of the United Nations Space Exploration Program," she began, her voice steady. Julian, standing slightly behind her, held up a holographic translator device. As she spoke, her words were transformed into Illyrian tones, soft and melodic. The tall Illyrian woman stepped forward, her opalescent eyes fixed on Lisa. Her movements were deliberate, almost reverent. Then, something happened that none of the humans had anticipated. The Illyrian woman's expression faltered, and tears began to roll down her cheeks, glistening like liquid diamonds in the soft light. Lisa froze. She had prepared for skepticism, for hostility, even for indifference, but not this. She could feel the tension ripple through her team as they exchanged uneasy glances. What did this mean? Was it an expression of grief, joy, or something else entirely? "Is this a cultural greeting?" Reyes whispered through their comm link. "Stay calm," Lisa replied under her breath, her attention still on the woman before her. The Illyrians' tears seemed to evoke a ripple of emotion among the others. They murmured softly in their own language, their tones low and mournful. Finally, the tall Illyrian spoke, her voice trembling yet melodic. "You have come, as it was foretold," the translator echoed. "But your face, it is the face of the lost." Lisa's breath hitched. "The lost?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The Illyrian nodded, her tears continuing to fall. "You wear her face. You are her reflection." Before Lisa could process the cryptic statement, the Illyrian gestured for the humans to follow. "Come. There is much to show you, and much you must understand." As they walked deeper into the forest, Lisa's mind raced. Who was this lost person, and why did she bear such a resemblance? The Illyrian's behavior was unlike anything she had anticipated. Her training had prepared her for first contact, but nothing could have prepared her for the tears of a stranger or the haunting familiarity in her gaze. The Illyrian city was a marvel that defied Earth's imagination. It wasn't so much built as it was grown, a seamless integration of nature and architecture. Structures spiraled upward from crystalline roots, their surfaces shimmering with an iridescent glow, as though the city itself was alive. Bridges of translucent material stretched between towering trees, forming pathways that sparkled with bioluminescence. Creatures resembling glowing moths darted through the air, their soft light illuminating the Illyrians as they moved gracefully through their habitat. Captain Lisa Trant followed Myrina, the tall Illyrian who had wept at the sight of her, through a network of winding paths. The rest of the crew walked behind her, silent, taking in the alien beauty of their surroundings. The Illyrians moved in clusters, whispering among themselves, their eyes lingering on Lisa. Every so often, Myrina glanced back, her expression a mix of curiosity, sorrow, and something that Lisa couldn't quite decipher. Finally, they reached a clearing. In its center stood a circular structure that glowed faintly, its surface carved with intricate symbols. Myrina gestured for Lisa and her team to enter. Inside, the air felt heavier, charged with a strange energy. The walls of the chamber pulsed faintly, like the heartbeat of a living organism. Myrina turned to Lisa, her opalescent eyes filled with emotion. "We owe you an explanation," Myrina began, her voice soft but steady. "Your arrival here was foretold in our oldest prophecies, but we did not fully understand what it would mean until I saw you." Myrina motioned toward the wall. As she did, a section of it began to shift and glow, displaying a series of holographic images. The projections showed scenes of an ancient Illyrian society, bustling and vibrant. Lisa noticed that the Illyrians in the images looked slightly different, healthier, more robust. Then the tone of the images darkened. A shadow swept over the scenes, and the Illyrians fell ill, their once bright skin dimming. The projections showed the plague spreading, leaving devastation in its wake. "This was our greatest tragedy," Myrina explained. "The Great Blight. It nearly destroyed us. Millions perished before the disease burned itself out. Among those lost was my sister, Elithra." Myrina paused, her gaze fixed on Lisa. Elithra was a scientist, a healer. She devoted her life to finding a cure for the plague. But in the end, she succumbed to it. Her loss was a wound that has never healed. Lisa felt a pang of sympathy for Myrina and her people, but confusion still clouded her mind. "I'm sorry for your loss," she said carefully, "but I don't understand. What does this have to do with me?" Myrina stepped closer, her expression intense. "Elithra left us something before she died, a vision, a message. She told us that one day, beings from beyond the stars would come. She said that one of them would carry her face, her essence, and that this being would signal a time of great change for Illyria." Lisa's breath caught in her throat. "You think I'm her?" Myrina nodded. "When I saw you, I thought I was seeing a ghost. You are her image. Your face, your eyes, they are hers." Lisa struggled to process the revelation. It seemed impossible, a coincidence, surely. And yet, the Illyrian's belief was unshakable. Myrina's gaze was filled with such conviction that Lisa couldn't bring herself to argue. Dr. Clara Voss stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her usual caution. "Could it be genetic? A distant common ancestor between your species and ours?" Myrina tilted her head, considering the question. "Perhaps. Or perhaps it is something more, cosmic. We do not fully understand the connection. All we know is that your presence was foretold." Lisa glanced at her team. Reyes looked skeptical, his brow furrowed. Julian seemed fascinated, his eyes darting between Lisa and the holographic images. Clara, ever the scientist, was already running scenarios in her mind. "I'm not sure what this means," Lisa said finally, "but I want to understand. If there's a way for us to help your people, we'll do everything we can." Myrina smiled faintly, though the sorrow in her eyes remained. There is much to discuss, much to uncover. For now, rest. Tomorrow, I will show you something that may answer your questions. As the crew settled into accommodations prepared for them living quarters that seemed to grow organically out of the trees, Lisa lay awake, staring at the glowing ceiling. She couldn't shake the feeling of connection to these people, as though some invisible thread linked her to their history. Was it mere coincidence, or was there something deeper at play? In the quiet of the night, Lisa made a silent vow. She would uncover the truth, not just for her own sake, but for the Illyrians, who had placed their hopes in her. Whatever her role in their prophecy, she would see it through. The Illyrian dawn was unlike anything Lisa had ever experienced. The twin suns rose together, casting beams of soft gold and lavender across the crystalline treetops. The air seemed alive with energy, carrying faint, harmonic tones that Lisa could feel in her chest more than hear. It was as though the planet itself was singing. Myrina arrived early to escort Lisa to what she had promised would be a place of great importance. The rest of Lisa's team stayed behind, working with Illyrian scholars to exchange knowledge on biology, technology, and culture. Lisa walked alongside Myrina, her heart racing with anticipation. As they moved through the forest, Myrina spoke of Elithra. She was the brightest among us, Myrina said, her voice tinged with both pride and sorrow. She was not only a scientist but also a visionary. Even as the plague consumed her, she worked tirelessly to save us. Her loss was a wound that has never healed. The path opened into a wide glade, surrounded by towering crystalline trees that shimmered with an inner light. In the center stood a massive, ancient structure, a monolith that seemed to pulse with life. Its surface was carved with intricate patterns, glowing faintly as if infused with energy. The Illyrians called it the Echo Vault. This is where Elithra left her final message, Myrina said, gesturing toward the monolith. It is also where I hope you will find answers. Lisa approached cautiously, her breath catching as she drew closer. The carvings on the monolith shifted subtly, their glow intensifying as though responding to her presence. Myrina touched the surface lightly, and a holographic interface sprang to life. Swirling symbols and shapes filled the air, and then a figure appeared, a life-sized projection of an Illyrian woman. Lisa froze. The woman in the projection was almost identical to her. Elithra's hologram spoke, her voice calm yet filled with urgency. If you are seeing this, then my time has ended, and a new chapter has begun. The great blight has ravaged our people, and though I fought to stop it, I have failed. But I believe the solution lies beyond the stars. The projection shifted, displaying complex molecular diagrams and sequences. Lisa recognized some elements of genetic code, though much of it was unfamiliar. Elithra continued, our biology is not self-contained. It is part of a greater cosmic pattern, one that may extend to other worlds. If you have come here, it is because you carry within you a resonance, a link to the answer we sought but could not find. Lisa felt a wave of unease. A resonance? She exchanged a glance with Myrina, whose expression was a mix of awe and expectation. Elithra's work was incomplete, Myrina explained. But she believed that another, someone like her, would one day come and finish what she started. As the projection faded, the monolith began to glow brighter, its surface shifting to reveal a hidden compartment. Inside was a device, a small, crystalline cube pulsing with faint light. Lisa hesitated, then reached out and took it. The moment her fingers closed around it, a surge of warmth spread through her body, and the carvings on the monolith flared brightly. Captain Tran, came Clara's voice over Lisa's comm link, breaking the silence. You need to get back here. We've just analyzed samples from the Illyrians, and, well, we've found something. Lisa glanced at Myrina, who nodded solemnly. Go, Myrina said. The answers you seek may lie with your own people. Back at the temporary human base, Clara was waiting with a datapad in hand, her face pale with a mix of excitement and disbelief. What is it? Lisa asked as she entered the lab. Clara motioned to a series of holographic projections hovering above the examination table. We ran a genetic analysis of the Illyrians to understand their biology, and I compared it to the samples we took from ourselves for baseline measurements. Lisa, there's a match. A match? Lisa echoed, her stomach tightening. Clara nodded. Not identical, but close enough to suggest a shared evolutionary origin. The Illyrians' DNA contains sequences that are strikingly similar to human mitochondrial DNA. More than that, there are specific markers in their genome that are almost identical to yours. The weight of Clara's words settled over the room like a storm cloud. Lisa felt her knees weaken. You're saying I'm related to them? In a way, Clara said cautiously. It's more like you're the missing piece. Something about your genetic makeup bridges the gap in their own biology. It's possible that Elithra's resonance theory was right. Your DNA might hold the key to solving whatever flaws their immune systems developed after the blight. Lisa's mind raced. The prophecy, Elithra's work, the uncanny resemblance, everything seemed to point to a connection she couldn't deny. But the implications were staggering. Was her presence here mere coincidence, or had something larger, something beyond human understanding, guided her to Illyria? I need to think, Lisa said, her voice barely above a whisper. Myrina, who had followed her back to the lab, placed a gentle hand on Lisa's shoulder. Elithra believed in the interconnectedness of all life. Perhaps it is not coincidence that you are here. Lisa stared at the glowing cube in her hand, Elithra's final legacy. She didn't know what the answers were yet, but she knew one thing for certain: her arrival on Illyria was no accident. She had a role to play, and whatever it was, it could change the fate of two worlds. The days that followed were a blur of discovery and cooperation. Lisa, now at the center of an unprecedented collaboration between humans and Illyrians, worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of Elithra's device. The crystalline cube, which the Illyrians called the Harmony Core, contained layers of data encoded in a way that defied Earth's technology. It was as though the cube was alive, responding to Lisa's presence with faint pulses of light whenever she held it. Myrina stayed by her side, guiding her through Elithra's notes, etched holographically into the walls of the Echo Vault. The Illyrian scientist's brilliance was undeniable. Her understanding of biology and energy seemed light years ahead of Earth's. Yet, her final breakthrough had remained just out of reach. Dr. Clara Voss and the Illyrian biologists worked together to analyze the genetic patterns revealed by the Harmony Core. The results were staggering. It became clear that the cube contained the framework for a cure to the remnants of the blight, an engineered solution that could restore the Illyrians' immune systems. But the key to activating it was hidden within Lisa's genetic code. The test in a high-ceiling chamber in the heart of the Illyrian city, Lisa stood before a group of Illyrian leaders. Their faces were solemn, their opalescent skin shimmering faintly under the bioluminescent lights. Beside her, Clara and Myrina presented their findings. The Harmony Core contains a genetic algorithm, Clara explained, gesturing to the floating holograms above the crystalline device. But it's incomplete. It was designed to interface with a specific biological signature, a signature that matches Captain Tran's DNA. Murmurs rippled through the Illyrians. Lisa could feel their eyes on her, a mix of hope, fear, and reverence. Lisa, Clara said, her voice softening, the only way to finish the process is for you to bond with the core. It's not dangerous, but it's unknown territory. The core may react unpredictably. Lisa took a deep breath, nodding. If this can help your people, I'll do it. Myrina stepped forward, her voice steady. Whatever happens, know that you carry Elithra's legacy. You are her echo and more. Lisa approached the Harmony Core, its light growing brighter as she extended her hand. The moment her fingers made contact, a surge of warmth spread through her body. The core vibrated faintly, and the holograms around it shifted, the patterns rearranging into something entirely new. The chamber filled with a low, harmonious hum. Light from the core expanded outward, enveloping Lisa and the room in a dazzling display of colors. She felt a presence, not a voice, but a deep understanding, as though Elethra's consciousness lingered within the device, guiding her. Then, as quickly as it had begun, the light subsided. The core dimmed, its glow steady and calm. Lisa opened her eyes to find the Illyrians staring at her with expressions of awe. Myrina approached, her hands trembling as she touched the core. "It is complete," Myrina said, tears streaming down her face. "Elethra's work is finished. A cure for the blight." The activation of the Harmony Core marked the beginning of a new era for Illyria. The genetic algorithm within the device, now fully functional, was used to synthesize a treatment for the lingering effects of the blight. The Illyrians who had lived in fear of sickness for generations began to recover, their bodies growing stronger. The collaboration between the humans and Illyrians deepened. Earth's scientists and the Illyrians worked side by side, sharing knowledge and technologies. Illyria's biological expertise, combined with Earth's engineering capabilities, opened doors to possibilities neither species had imagined. For Lisa, the experience was transformative. She had come to Illyria as an explorer, but she was leaving as something more, a bridge between two worlds, a living testament to the interconnectedness of life across the stars. Departure. On the day of her departure, the Illyrians gathered in the city's central plaza to bid farewell to Lisa and her team. Myrina stood at the forefront, her expression one of gratitude and quiet sadness. "You came to us as a stranger," Myrina said, her voice carrying across the crowd. "But you leave as family. Elethra's spirit lives on through you, and because of you, our people have hope again." Lisa felt a lump rise in her throat. She had never considered herself a hero, she had simply done what needed to be done. But standing before the Illyrians, she realized the depth of the connection she had forged with them. Myrina stepped forward and placed a small, glowing shard of crystal in Lisa's hand. "This is a piece of the Harmony Core. It is a symbol of what we have accomplished together and a reminder that Illyria will always welcome you." As the spacecraft descended into the Illyrian sky, Lisa watched the planet grow smaller in the viewport. The crystalline trees, the glowing rivers, and the shimmering cities faded into the distance, but their beauty remained etched in her mind. She turned to her crew, her voice steady. "We're not just explorers anymore. We're part of something bigger. This is just the beginning." The stars stretched out before them, infinite and full of promise. Lisa knew that somewhere among them lay new worlds, new connections, and new stories waiting to be written. And she was ready.